The ancient city of Babylon is famed for several architectural achievements. These buildings consist of massive walls, gates, ziggurats, palaces, and temples. Babylon was at its height during the Neo-Babylonian Empire from 626 BCE to 539 BCE. Many of the major structures were constructed or rebuilt during this time. Much of what we know about the city we know from artifacts such as stelas and inscriptions, along with classical writers and architectural remains. The walls of Babylon were at their greatest known size created primarily by Nabopolassar and Nebuchadnezzar. Nabopolassar started the construction of the walls following his conquest of Babylon. His architectural contributions to the city included reconstruction of the inner and outer walls. Nebuchadnezzar further expanded on the walls in a grand fashion. The size of the walls themselves were estimated by classical historian Strabo as likely 75 feet, which would have been more likely than Herodotus' exaggerated size. The walls themselves may have been 6 to 7 meters in thickness, much more so than other walls of the time. The walls were said by classical writers to be adorned in precious metals and bronze. Along with the walls, he constructed multiple canals for drainage and water supply. Furthermore, there were moats surrounding the city expanding on the fortifications. Integrated in the walls of Babylon were numerous gates. At least 8 of them were of significance. The Ishtar Gate to the north is by far the most famous of the gates. The gate is believed to have been glazed blue and decorated by an assortment of animals, including aurochs and dragons. The foundation of this gate remains largely on site. However, portions of the gate can be found in the Pergamon Museum in Germany, the British Museum, and the University of Chicago. Along with fragments of the wall, a large replica of the gate itself can be found in the Pergamon Museum. Leading to the Ishtar Gate was the major street, the Processional Way. While the street existed before the arrival of Nabopolassar, it had sunk below the river and had to be raised and reinforced. The Processional Way was more than half a mile long and ended at the main temple of Babylon, Esagila. The street was used for parade routes and to demonstrate the empire's might. Like the Ishtar Gate, the street was coated in blue enamel. Lining the street were many depictions of lions made up of colored bricks. The main temple, Esagila, was a monument to Marduk. The temple itself was in the center of the city and made up of 2 courtyards. The first courtyard people entered was 40 by 70 meters, and the second was 40 by 25 meters. Visitors then visited the shrine, which was made up of 2 sacred rooms, where the statues of Marduk and his consort were located. The associated ziggurat of the main temple was the Etemenanki, to the direct north. The Etemenanki, called the Temple of the Foundation of Heaven and Earth, was one of the largest and most important ziggurats. The ziggurat was made up of 7 terraces and a height of around 91 meters. The building was connected to the Esagila to the south by large stairs and triple gates. On the eastern side of the ziggurat, a gate led to the Processional Way. On the top of the ziggurat was a temple dedicated to Marduk, with cult rooms for other Mesopotamian deities. The ziggurat is believed to be the inspiration for the biblical Tower of Babel. Not much remains of these structures today. The archaeological remains of Babylon are mostly just the foundations of these monuments. The Etemenanki and Esagila have bricks and other remnants found on site, along with glazed bricks of the Processional Way. We know what they may have looked like due to inscriptions of the buildings and structures like the walls and Ishtar Gate remain in some form in the region.